6006. The principle that is based on the emotional reaction of the learner is the principle of A. Effect, B. Primacy, C. Intensity. The correct answer is A. The principle of effect recognizes the impact of emotions on the learning process. It acknowledges that the emotional response of learners can significantly influence their engagement, motivation, and retention of information. Emotions play a crucial role in learning and memory. When learners have positive emotional experiences associated with learning, they are more likely to be engaged, motivated, and receptive to new information. On the other hand, negative emotions can hinder learning and decrease the effectiveness of the learning experience. The principle of effect suggests that instructors should aim to create a positive emotional climate that fosters enthusiasm, interest, and enjoyment in the learning process. By incorporating elements that elicit positive emotional responses, such as meaningfulness, relevance, and personal connection, instructors can enhance the learning experience and promote better retention of information. 6008. Which principle of learning implies that an individual will learn more from the real thing than from a substitute? A. Principle of effect. B. Principle of primacy. C. Principle of intensity. The correct answer is C. The principle of intensity emphasizes that learning is enhanced when individuals directly experience or engage with the real thing. It suggests that the intensity of learning is heightened when individuals have first-hand encounters with the actual object, situation, or experience rather than relying on substitutes or simulations. When individuals have direct and real experiences, their senses are fully engaged, and they can gather rich and detailed information. This direct engagement allows for a more comprehensive understanding of the subject matter, promotes deeper learning, and facilitates better retention of knowledge. On the other hand, substitutes or simulated experiences may lack the same level of authenticity, sensory input, and immersive qualities. While substitutes can have some value in certain contexts, the principle of intensity suggests that they are generally less effective in promoting meaningful and lasting learning compared to real experiences. 6009. Which principle of learning often determines the sequence of lectures within a course of instruction? A. Principle of primacy. B. Principle of recency. C. Principle of intensity. The correct answer is B. The principle of recency suggests that information presented most recently is more easily remembered and retained. It recognizes the importance of the timing and order of instructional content in facilitating optimal learning outcomes. When organizing the sequence of lectures or instructional content within a course, instructors often consider the principle of recency. They aim to present and reinforce the most critical and relevant information closer to the time of assessment or application. By doing so, learners have a better chance of retaining and recalling the recently covered material during exams or when they need to apply their knowledge. The principle of recency aligns with the idea that memory and learning are influenced by the temporal proximity of information. It emphasizes the advantage of prioritizing and reinforcing recently learned material to enhance retention and facilitate effective learning. 6010. Which principle of learning often creates a strong, almost unshakable impression? A. Principle of primacy. B. Principle of intensity. C. Principle of readiness. The correct answer is A. The principle of primacy highlights the significant influence of initial learning experiences on subsequent learning. According to this principle, information learned first tends to have a more enduring impact and creates a strong impression in memory. When individuals are exposed to new information or concepts, their initial encounters with that material are particularly influential. The impressions formed during these initial experiences can shape their understanding, attitudes, and perceptions of the subject matter. These initial impressions often become the foundation upon which later learning is built. The principle of primacy suggests that the first impressions made during the learning process are challenging to overcome or replace. It indicates that the initial learning experiences have a lasting effect and may be resistant to change or modification. 6007. Things most often repeated are best because of which principle of learning? A. Principle of effect. B. Principle of recency. C. Principle of exercise. The correct answer is C. The principle of exercise emphasizes the importance of practice and repetition in the learning process. When information or skills are repeatedly practiced or exercised, it strengthens the neural connections in the brain, leading to improved learning and retention. By engaging in frequent repetition and practice, learners reinforce their understanding, reinforce the neural pathways associated with the learned material, and enhance their ability to recall and apply that knowledge when needed. The principle of exercise aligns with the idea that practice makes perfect. It suggests that repeated exposure and active engagement with the learning content contribute to the formation of long-lasting memories and deeper learning.